Hey everybody, what's going on? What's hot? What's hip? What's happening? What is shaking on your Monday? Hope you had a great weekend. Hope that your football team won, or at least didn't drop a really easy to catch pass on a 2 point conversion. Anyway, tonight I'm going to tell you about a baseball legend, an entertainment legend, and a comedy legend by the name of Bob Uecker, who sadly passed away on the 16th of this month. And you'll learn all about him, and hopefully we can point you towards some things that'll make you appreciate him or appreciate him even more. But first, please like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell, all of those things that you can do totally free. Won't cost you a farthing. In order to support the show and help us with the algorithm, the almighty, all-powerful, all-seeing algorithm. Plus, we do have super chats. We do have memberships. We'd love it if you availed yourself of those, because daddy needs a new pair of shoes, and a little something for the effort. You know what I'm saying? And please turn on your gifted memberships. It tells how right down there in the scroll across the bottom of the screen. Generous people do give out those free memberships where you can hear members-only exclusive content like everyone did yesterday. I pulled out some stuff from the archives, things I'm terrified to put on the internet in the open for the obvious reasons. We have a lot of folks in here tonight. I actually... was a baseball announcer in the Continental Baseball League with my partner and good friend Dave Michaels. And it was a blast. It's the most fun I've ever had in broadcasting. Rumpled Trenchcoat is here. And by the way, Rumpled Trenchcoat, a Columbo podcast, will be with us tomorrow night live right here in studio on the program to tell us everything about Columbo, along with his sister, who is equally well-versed in Columbo. He says it's hard to grumble when a guy makes it to 90, but I'm still sorry to see him go. Yeah, it's very, very, very sad. But boy, did he leave us with a lot of stuff. John Naylor is here. He says, thank you, Tom. Love Bob Uecker. Thank you for the $4.99. Very, very much appreciated. And for that, of course, you get the point. Yes, anyone donating whatsoever will receive the point. It's a really highly cherished thing. Rumple Trenchcoat says, woot. And Doc, the Doctorn says, won't cost me a shilling. Thank you for the $5, Doctorn. Very much appreciated. Wow, we're out of the gate here with, some very nice donations. Thank you. Appreciate that. And of course, Doctorn, you too also receive the point. Highly sought after. Very rare, by the way. Very rare to get the point. People saying hi. We do have the most cheerful chat room on the internet. This has been verified by independent sources. So please enter our chat room. Love it. Like it. Very welcoming group in here. Very, very welcoming group. Always glad to see everybody. And I've got to vamp for at least another minute. I don't know how to do that. And I did once on the I got hired to a job in advertising. And on the very same day, I went to the interview. They hired me after the interview. It's a long time ago when people did things like that. And got home and got a phone call from the guy that was the owner of the agency. And he said, what are you doing tonight? And I said, nothing, because I'm that kind of guy. And he said, we've got a softball game. Do you play sports? And I went, yeah, I played a lot of sports in my day. Well, come on out. My very first at-bat for this team, grand slam home run out at Riverside Park in Indianapolis. I'm not joking. I should have asked for a raise. I really should have, but I didn't. I let him off easy. Anyway, I think now it's about time for me to open up my thing. That's a moment that all people here on the show have learned to appreciate. Let me see here. Let's see. Yeah, okay. My thing isn't opening up the way I thought my thing was going to open up, so I'm opening it up a different way. My thing is now open. I have a fully open thing without which we really couldn't do a show. Let's see. Sandy Eastman is here, the Queen of Las Vegas. She says, "Hi, Tom. Good to see you. Been busy with my football, you know." Oh, you're Steelers. Yes, you love. Sandy Eastman has every single Pittsburgh Steelers item. She's got socks. She's got shoelaces. She's got hats. She's got shirts. She's got car flags. She's got soap dishes. She's got salt and pepper shake. Everything. Pittsburgh Steelers, Pittsburgh Steelers, Pittsburgh Steelers. Sandy, you are a wonderful person, and I'm so glad you're here tonight. The chef is in the house. He is an actual chef at a big fancy country club. He's here with us. Dill Dog is good gravy. Dill Dog is here. Thank you for the very wow donation. Wow, that's man. You definitely get the point. That's man. As a matter of fact, you get the point. You're getting the point again, and you're getting the point again. As a matter of fact, you're getting a full screen point. He says, "Love the teeth. Did you get them from Barbara's Extractions?" Yes, they just arrived from Turkey. And man, oh man, that is extremely generous. Thank you, Dill Dog. Unless you have some way of, punking me by canceling it. I gotta thank you so much. I don't know what I did to deserve that, but welcome and thank you. And please, the place is yours. Request a show, do whatever you want. Man, you got the run of the place. Thank you so much. I don't know what to say. Just a bit outside. There's my Bob Uecker imitation. My Harry Doyle. And then my James Gammon from the same film of Major League. "Give him the heater, Ricky." There you go. There you go. I can do another James Gammon line or two if you'd like, as Lou Brown in that movie. Wow, I feel like leaving that up the whole show. Doc Torn says they got a pill to help you open your thing. Well, that's very nice. Loving this show, says Dill Dog. Well, Dill Dog, thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you're the one that loves the show. Doc says the chef is on deck. He sure is. Rumpled Trenchcoat, Columbo Podcast, says a full screen point. Nice. Yeah, he gets another one. Good Lord. That's shattering our monthly income so far. There you go. You get, in matter of fact, you get one with the logo and with everything, just completely unblemished. And matter of fact, I will, for you, for just a second, take the crawl off. So you get a full screen Dill Dog worthy point. It's got the ring. It's got the autograph. It's got my face. It's got the logo. And okay, that's enough. Let's get back to our comments. And people saying hi again. The most cheerful chat room on the internet. It's verified by independent sources. There you go. Might as well start telling you about our good friend, Bob Uecker. Good old Bob Uecker. Most of us, people my age, probably remember Bob Uecker. And I just have to mention this. Right? Let's get rid of that, please. Thank you, production staff. Bob Uecker, and we'll get into the whole thing, but I can tell you my first knowledge of Bob Uecker, who would later become famous for commercials and movies and a TV series he was in, was The Tonight Show. I probably started seeing him in about 1971, 72, because I was a huge fan of The Tonight Show. And Bob Uecker was hilarious on The Tonight Show. Please go to YouTube and just put in Bob Uecker, Johnny Carson, and the clips will start appearing, and you get a really good flavor of his self-deprecating humor. Very deadpan, very calm, very believable. Please do that, please, and we'll point you to some other things. His Hall of Fame, he is in the Hall of Fame, not for playing, but for being a broadcaster. You got the Ford Frick Award. And I'm telling you, it's got to be seen to be believed. So please, please, please check that out. You got to see it to believe it. It's just amazingly funny. Oh my goodness. Wow. I did not expect this at all tonight wow, this is it's too much. Jared, you didn't have to do that, bro. We're buds, but thank you for the $49.99. He just says hi. And the people over there at Pod Awful have been so good to me, in the last year and a half or so. Prior to that, well, it might have been a bit contentious. Let's just say that. But now we're all good, and Jared's a wonderful, wonderful guy. He really is. He's a great person. And thank you so much for the $49.99. I owe you something. It won't be sounding, but it'll be something very great. And Jared, of course, now is going to get the point, and he also deserves a full screen point. And he deserves that without the banner. Just that, Jared, that's for you, brother. That's for you. As a matter of fact, Jared, I'll even go as far for Jared and for Dildog here, because these are just really over the top. I'm going to give you the highly sought after novelty Tom Gully show full thing there. What did I just do? Let's see. I'm trying to hide that. There we go. There you guys go. That's the, oh my God, you donated that much? What's wrong with you? You must be, someone's doing well. Someone's doing well. And now let's get rid of that, please. Production staff, can we please? Thank you. Thank you. Now I got to get into this. Otherwise, we're going to run late. We don't want to do that. Julian Caesar saying hi to everyone. Always great to have Julian here. He was with us for our members only show yesterday. Dan is here. He says join the Gully Fun, and we got people saying hi and people saying hi. Most cheerful chat room and it was verified by independent sources. So Bob Uecker used to joke that he was born on an oleo run to Illinois, but he was actually, and this is a very important thing about the man that they affectionately and somewhat facetiously used to call Mr. Baseball on the Tonight Show. He was all about Milwaukee. Man, this guy was Milwaukee through and through. Born and raised in Milwaukee. His father emigrated from Switzerland. He tells a funny story about his dad was on a soccer team. He didn't play. He just pumped up the balls, which was amazing because they didn't have pumps back then. I'm just murdering his jokes. He would do them far better than I, and I'm not going to do that many more because you want to hear him do it. But anyway, he emigrated from Switzerland. His mother was originally from Michigan. He grew up, and the team he watched was a minor league team called the Milwaukee Brewers that we know now today are a major league team. The major league team in Milwaukee at the time was the Milwaukee Braves, which later moved to Atlanta, and that's part of his story as well. He joined the Army, like a lot of people did back then, actually became a corporal, and played baseball at Fort Leonard Wood in Missouri. And after the Army, he signed a contract with his hometown Milwaukee Braves, the major league team that I mentioned, in 1956. And he played in the minors for them and was very good in the minor leagues. In fact, in his first two minor league teams, he hit 19 home runs. So he made his major league debut in 1962. He only played 6 seasons in the majors, and he was the third string catcher on that team. And one year he batted .250, which is respectable. It's not terrible. It's not great, but it's okay in 33 games. He appeared in 9 games in the next season and then was demoted to the minor leagues. But the next season, 1964, he, along with some other people, were traded to the St. Louis Cardinals. And he rarely played for that 1964 team, but that was a team that won the World Championship. So he does have a World Series championship ring. It was on the team. And next season was traded to the Philadelphia Phillies. And 2 seasons later, they traded him back to the Braves, who are now in Atlanta. And his major league career concluded in 1967 after those 6 seasons. A below average hitter, not a great hitter. He batted .200 for his major league career, but he was known to be an excellent defensive player. He was a catcher, and had a fielding percentage of .981, which is very good. Although, you know, in his last season, he played only 59 games of the 162, and he led the league in passed balls, which means a ball that the catcher misses, and that's not a good thing. His, excuse for that is that one of the big pitchers for those Braves was a guy named Phil Niekro, who used to throw a knuckleball, which a knuckleball, you can't tell where it's going. It was very difficult to catch. And Uecker often jokes that the best way to catch a knuckleball was to simply wait till it stops rolling and then pick it up. So, which I think is hilarious. Anyway, after retiring as a player, why am I not showing these pictures here? There he is, playing for the Cardinals, that World Championships team. Here is a photo of Bob Uecker, his very first season, in 1962, with the Milwaukee Braves. So there you go. But in 1971, his real claim to fame began when he started broadcasting. And it wasn't in Milwaukee at first. Not in Milwaukee. He started down in Atlanta for WSB TV. In 1971, though, he began calling play-by-play for the Milwaukee Brewers. And he did that with the Brewers, television and radio, for 54 seasons. And that's the second most of anybody all time. That's an amazing run. 54 years, over a half a century. He was the voice of the Milwaukee Brewers. And he also did a lot of other broadcasting that maybe people don't know about or he doesn't get credit for, and he should. In the off-season, he was the color commentator for the University of Wisconsin, Milwaukee Panthers, men's basketball and football on some radio stations in the early 70s. And a bunch of his partners, while he was with the Brewers, he would have a broadcast partner in the booth, became the primary announcer for other Major League Baseball teams. He also called the 1982 World Series locally for the Brewers on WISN in Milwaukee. For several years, he was also the color commentator, as you see here, for the network television broadcast of Major League Baseball, helping call games for ABC in the 70s and 80s, and on NBC with Bob Costas and Joe Morgan during the 90s. During that time, he was a commentator for several All-Star games, League Championship Series, and World Series. So he was also a color commentator for the All-Star games in 1994 and 1996. And he left NBC before he got a chance to call the 1998 All-Star game from Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. He had a bunch of discs replaced in his back, and he was well known for his catchphrase, "Get up, get out of here, gone," when a Brewers player hit a home run. In 2014, he cut back on his workload, limiting his number of road games, and he would call and travel, due to prior health issues. During the 2021 season, he had never signed an official contract, a written contract with the Brewers to do the team's play-by-play, just doing it on a handshake with the owners of the Brewers. He signed a contract in 2021 in order to be covered under the Brewers' health insurance plan after his SAG-AFTRA benefits for acting work went bye-bye. And he called these games up till last year, till 2024. His final broadcast was Game 3 of the National League Wild Card Series between the Brewers and the New York Mets on October 3rd, just not even 6 months ago. So he also did something that maybe not a lot of people know about, which was he hosted 2 syndicated television shows, Bob Uecker's Wacky World of Sports and Bob Uecker's War of the Stars. Now, Bob Uecker's Wacky World of Sports has since become known as the lighter side of sports. A different guy hosted it, Mike Golick, who used to do Mike and Mike on ESPN. And it's one of the longest syndicated sports programs in American television history. Bob Uecker started it. He also appeared in commercials for the Milwaukee Admirals of the American Hockey League, including one in which he redesigned the team's uniform to be like a plaid. He used to wear these outlandishly garish jackets on the Tonight Show and stuff. So he was also a wrestling announcer, the World Wrestling Federation, for WrestleMania 3, and pay-per-view announcer for Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant. He returned in 1988 for WrestleMania 4 as the ringside announcer. And he was known, though, for his humor. I mean, he was hilarious, particularly about his relatively obscure playing career. And he became way better known after he was done playing than when he was actually playing. Most of his wisecracks were about himself. I'm not going to do the jokes that I could do. Listen to him. He made, get this, Johnny Carson loved this man, just loved him. He made 100 guest appearances on The Tonight Show. And he actually hosted Saturday Night Live once. Can you believe it? Peter Wolf, by the way, was the musical performer on that, and I'm a big Peter Wolf fan. He also super famous for his Miller Lite commercials, and he did dozens of them. And it became a catchphrase. It kind of still is. And Usher informs him he's in the wrong seat. Excuse me, sir, you're in the wrong seat. And he was like, I must be in the front row, which was one of his other catchphrases. The punchline is that he was actually in the nosebleed seats, and they would show him sitting up there. It was kind of a joke that these seats in the Brewers Stadium became known as the Uecker seats because I must be in the front row. And they showed him up in the nosebleeds after he'd actually gotten the seats the team gave him. And so those are known as the Uecker seats in Milwaukee, which is really super appropriate. There's a $1 section of seating up there at American Family Field, which is where the Brewers play. And these seats, as you can see, those two giant stanchions actually have what they call obstructed view seats there. And he also yelled from that faraway vantage point, which you could never tell what was happening at the plate. He missed the tag. He wrote 2 books. One was called Catcher in the Rye. Rye is spelled W-R-Y, which is his autobiography. And another one was Catch 222. So they're just plays on words. Now, he was an actor, too. Okay? So he played the father and, the head of the family on the TV show Mr. Belvedere. Okay, now that show was on the air for 6 seasons, was very, very popular. He made cameo appearances, very short appearances in certain movies like Fatal Instinct and episodes of other sitcoms like Who's the Boss, DC Follies, Late Line. And he was the voice of the head of Bob Uecker in the Futurama episode titled A Leela of Her Own, instead of A League of Her Own, I'm assuming. But probably most famous for playing Harry Doyle, the broadcaster for the Cleveland Indians, now the Cleveland Guardians, in the Major League film franchise. In the movies, Harry Doyle is known for his, my favorite one is, Charlie Sheen's character throws a pitch, which is easily 20 feet outside the pitching area and just a bit outside. He was sort of the quintessential baseball announcer, but said much funnier things. The guy would throw in the ball in the dirt or over the top of the back spot. How is he laying off those perfect pitches? Anyway, he would go on to receive that role, not because of his broadcasting career, which was storied with the Milwaukee Brewers, but because of those Miller Lite commercials I mentioned earlier. He's received just about every honor you can as a broadcaster. The National Sportscaster and let me start over again. The National Sportscasters and Sports Writers Association named him as the Wisconsin Sportscaster of the Year 5 different times and put them in their Hall of Fame in 2011. He was inducted into the National Radio Hall of Fame in 2001 and in 2003. And you can see his acceptance speech all over YouTube. You got to see it. It's hilarious. He received the Ford C. Frick Award, bestowed annually by the Baseball Hall of Fame to a broadcaster for major contributions to baseball. And his speech was the highlight of the ceremony that year. In his 50th year in professional baseball, 2005, the Milwaukee Brewers placed a number 50 in his honor in their Ring of Honor near the retired numbers of some other players. And 4 years later, his name was also added to the Brewers Wall of Honor inside American Family Field. He was inducted into the celebrity wing of the WWE Hall of Fame in 2010 because of his earlier work with that organization. And there's actually a monument to him outside the field in Milwaukee, along the statues of Hank Aaron, Robin Yount, and Bug Selig. September 25th, 2021 was Bob Uecker Day in Wisconsin to honor his 50th year of broadcasting Brewers games. He threw out the first pitch in the game against the New York Mets, but instead of throwing the ball to the catcher, he unveiled a pitching machine that he used to throw the ball to the catcher. And before the game, left fielder Christian Yelich presented a gift on behalf of the players, a pair of custom Nike sneakers with Air Uecker and Get Up on one foot and One of Us and Just a Bit Outside on the other shoe. He was married twice. His first wife, Joyce, and he had 4 children. His second wife and he were married in Louisiana in 1976, divorced in 2001. And he did have some health problems. He had a few that made him miss a few games during the 2010 season. And heart surgery, aortic valve, and a portion of his aortic root were replaced. And he returned to the Brewers just a few days later. He had another heart surgery in 2010. He was diagnosed with small cell lung cancer in 2023, and he died in his Menominee Falls, Wisconsin home just a few days ago on January the 16th, 10 days shy, just 10 days shy of his 91st birthday. Can we all please do yourself a favor? You're not doing me a favor here, okay? Do yourself a favor. Just go to YouTube after this show is over, of course, and type in Bob Uecker. It's tough to spell, Uecker, and Johnny Carson, and watch all the clips. Watch every single one. You will be laughing your rear end off. I swear to you. And then, if you can, watch his Hall of Fame induction speech. You might have heard some of it in some of the Johnny Carson stuff, but it is fabulous, and especially fabulous to see all the legends of baseball just cracking up. They're laughing so hard. I'd love to sit here and try to do his jokes, but I would not do them justice whatsoever. I really wouldn't. So, a fond farewell to Mr. Baseball. Just an amazing talent, a remarkable man, and from all accounts, just a great person to know. And that is the late, great Bob Uecker, a guy who made a living and a legend off of self-deprecating humor. And I got to imagine that being on a Major League ball club with him had to be a nonstop laugh riot. I've played a lot of sports. The Wolf, who is here, he knows of my sports prowess. And I guess I got it from my parents. I make fun of my playing career all the time. But it's always great. You need guys on your team that are just sort of great locker room guys, great on the bench guys that can keep everybody's spirits up, that can remind them they're playing a sport, that they're supposed to have fun. And, it's a sad day. Bob Uecker, gone, but never, ever forgotten. We've got some comments here. I will get to those right away. And please like, share, subscribe, retweet, notification bell, all those freebie things that are going to help us out with the algorithm, the almighty. We've got so many just super kind and generous donations today. I'm not even going to ask anybody else. I'm not even going to mention it again because we've got people here that have just, really floored me tonight with your generosity. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And let's see. Hey, by the way, Rumpled Trenchcoat is still in here. Rumpled, I'm going to send you the link tomorrow to get into the show, to that email address you sent me. And if you would kindly send me your sister's information so I can announce it during the show and know what I'm talking about, that'd be great too. That would be great too. Let's see here. Doc says, may Odin grant him rest. Yes. Rumpled Trenchcoat saying, hi, you wolf. The wolf is in the house. Reno Hightower says, sorry I'm late. I got here as quick as I could. Good evening, chat. Oh, hey, Tom. Nobody's ever late to the show, by the way, Reno. That's a precept of the show. That's pretty universal. People saying hi. The wolf says, I just got here a few minutes ago. I was watching Patsy Cline's biography. No cheers were shed for the mountain Patsy Cline crashed into. Rumpled Trenchcoat says, sounds great, will do. Yes, you do that voodoo, you do so well. Once again, everybody, tomorrow night, Rumpled Trenchcoat and his sister will be here for our Columbo broadcast. Extremely excited about it. Extremely excited. Rumpled Trenchcoat is one of our greatest viewers and supporters, and a very witty man on his own. And if you like Columbo, you're going to love this. And if you don't know about Columbo, you're going to love this. And if you've only heard of Columbo, you're going to love this. And you're just going to love this. I'm sorry, there's nothing you can do about it. You will be loving it. There's no way around it. But I've been watching Bob Uecker all weekend. I haven't stopped. I just continue to watch him and watch him and watch him. And I remember some of them from when I was a kid. And one of the things that you'll notice is that he keeps in character the whole time. Everybody else is breaking up and cracking up around him, and he is just as deadpan as you can imagine. And such a smooth delivery. His jokes just absolutely masterfully delivered. And I'm going to miss that guy. I'm really going to miss that guy. I would also mention that Norm Macdonald tells some stories along with Artie Lang about Al. Why do I keep calling him Al? Bob Uecker. And they also are the stuff of legend. So, at any rate, the wolf says, where the after party at? Well, it's interesting you mention that because Bob Uecker always used to say, what happens during the game isn't nearly as important as what happens after the game, which is kind of funny. Many of his stories involve him or somebody else being smashed, while they're supposed to be playing the game or after the game. Or Doc says, if you like Columbo, you're going to love this. You're going to love this. Yes, you really are. Let me see. I'll get rid of this picture, and I will put Columbo back up on the screen. I know a lot of you like Columbo, so why not? Why not go ahead and get Columbo up there? It's one of my favorites as well. There he is, the well-known Columbo. Rumpled Trenchcoat says, those Lang and McDonald stories are so good. I listened to them over and over this weekend. Yeah, they are. They are really, really great. A lot of us do things with that cough switch, by the way. A lot of broadcasters I have one here. If I need to, I can do it. But a lot of us are, Well, I'll let you peek behind the curtain. When I was broadcasting in the Continental Baseball League, if I noticed a really attractive lady, I would say to my broadcast partner, always a lot of wonderful sights at the ballpark. And of course, this was a minor league team, so our booth was in great proximity to all the fans. It's not like being way up there and there's a huge crowd. You're not that far up there. You're at the top, but it's 40 rows or something, not that much. And yes, you could see everything really well. And there were times that you did want to say, there's some wonderful sights to see here at the ballpark, because a lot of times there are, if you know what I'm saying. So, anyway, phone lines are open at 972-994-6822. You can call in. You can say just a bit outside. You can also say, I have a feeling someone's having some fun with you. Give him the heater, Ricky. Didn't even use the cough switch. I should have. I can do the James Gammon. I can do it really well as Lou Brown. But you're going to cough right after you do the lines. You really have to pay attention when you do that. The Wolf says, I feel terrible. I no longer have a trench coat. I only have tater-proof duster. Waterproof duster. Sorry. Rumpled Trench says, all coats are welcome, Wolf. Oh, by the way, Rumpled, send me your logo, a copy of your logo, if you would, so I can put that on screen. I want that high-quality logo. If you can give me one of those, then I can put it on screen here, like Galumbo. And who doesn't like Galumbo? If I could ask you one more thing. He says, sure, good. I couldn't help but notice the ashtray next to the bed. Well, most people smoke. They've got but I noticed. Yeah. Okay, let's face it. My Columbo isn't as good as my James Gammon. I admit that. Just a bit outside. I love saying that. He sort of played a quintessential broadcaster. All the pale hose taking on the was it the Cuyahoga Warriors going head to head tonight. Let me see here. Rumble Trenchcoat says, once again, my logo created by the great Space Chief. All right, Space Chief. Way to go. Way to go, Space Chief. Well done. Good job. The great thing about broadcasting baseball, Dave Michaels always says, baseball is a story interrupted by a game. It's very passive. There's a lot of dead time in baseball, and that's what makes broadcasting it so fun. Dravecki delivers low and away. That's an 0-1 count to Rubenstein. Dave, did you get any Dippin' Dots before the game? You've got so much time to talk about other stuff. And that's a shot up the middle. That'll be a hit. Whoa, statistician calling it a fielder's choice. Man, that was a hit. When the fielder's... And then the guy would say something, and I'd be like, well, that's just your opinion, man. And we just doing imitations and stuff throughout the entire game. It's a blast. It is without question the most fun I've ever had in broadcasting. By the way, the players, I would take BP. I took BP a couple times with the batting practice with those guys a couple times because look, if you throw me a fastball, you just made a big mistake. If you throw me anything else, you will strike me out. Can't hit it. But a fastball, nah, that's going a long way. And the other thing that used to freak these guys out, because it was during the summer here in Texas, we had a joke at the start of the game, every game. Welcome to the Gabe Nesbitt Field, 105 degrees tonight, 104 with the wind chill. That was our big joke. But I would get there way before the game because I wanted to interview the players and the manager and the players of the opposing team. It's actually a deal where the other teams quit sending their broadcast people to our games, and the whole league would just use our feed for their away games in McKinney. So we were kind of a flagship broadcast team for the Continental Baseball League. I would get to the game super early so I could talk to the skipper of the other team and all the players and certainly our own team. But I would get there so early, I'd be there in a pair of shorts and my soccer shoes or whatever, and I would run 5-10 laps before the start of the game just to kind of get in the mood, get all heated up, and it was a blast. I cherish doing those broadcasts. They were so much fun, and they were all night games. I think we had a few weekend, day games, but for the most part, they were night games during the week. And see, you work your regular job during the week, and then at the end of the day, you're just looking forward to heading on out to the ballpark and just loving it. And that particular booth had kind of air conditioning. It wasn't very good, so the booth was like a sweat box anyway. And I would always try and stop and get like a jug, at some convenience mart, a jug of like fruit drink, imitation orange drink, something for us to have cold in the booth. And so a lot of the pictures that were taken, our teeth and lips are red and stuff for drinking this crappy whatever, just trying to stay cool in there. And I don't know if you guys know this, when you do radio, and this is pretty universal, when you do radio for baseball, Dave, a great play-by-play man. Well, Dave's great at everything, but usually, and I would do the color, usually first 3 innings, play-by-play guy does play-by-play, second seat, the color guy does color. The middle 3 innings, to give the play-by-play guy a break, you switch roles, and then he can actually get up and go get a hot dog or whatever if he wants to, and use the facilities, whatever he needs to do, and then come back and continue doing color. And then the last 3 innings, you return to the original setup. If you listen to baseball, and baseball is the best sport by far to listen to on the radio, it really is. You can just have it on in the background. You don't have to really be super engaged with it. Look for that particular strategy, that thing that they do, because it's very common. 972-994-6822. And good old Bob Uecker. If you listen to any of those old Howard Stern clips, you will definitely hear Artie and Norm talking about Mr. Belvedere, being on Mr. Belvedere, which was a very popular show. It really was. I wonder if I should just go ahead and look up Mr. Belvedere and get the ratings, because it was on for a long time. There we go, Mr. Belvedere. Maybe it'll have some ratings information for us. 6 seasons of that program. 85 to 90, let's see. Let's see. By the way, Bob Uecker played a sportscaster. So, as you might imagine, that was pretty easy to do. Pre-production, recurring cast, episodes, broadcast history, theme song and opening, ratings and cancellations. Oh, wow. Mr. Belvedere did not place within Nielsen's top 30 shows at any time during his 6-season run, but it did have a relatively solid ratings base and often won its time slot. So there you go. There you go. And they moved it around a lot. They moved that show around quite a bit. It was mostly on Fridays from 8:30 to 9. But then they moved it to 9 to 9:30, and then they moved it to Saturday, and then they moved it to Sunday, and you just can't be doing that. You just can't be doing that. But well over 100 episodes of that program. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, probably 120 episodes of Mr. Belvedere. And so, he was a guy. He was on a thing. So there you go, Mr. Belvedere. He has some things to say about Christopher Hewitt, who you see on screen right now, who played Mr. Belvedere. And there you are. 972-994-6822 is the number to call. Slight chance there will be no Wednesday program. I think there will be. I'm about 85% sure that there'll be a show on Wednesday, but I am got to go to Fort Worth, like 45 miles away, for a thing. Yes, and Rumpled Trenchcoat is exactly correct here. Moving showtime around can really kill a show. It can totally devastate a show. Sometimes they do it because the show is super popular and they're wanting to claim, a certain spot that's difficult for them to get ratings in. Other times they do it because I don't know where we're going to put this thing. But generally it's a destabilizing factor. People get used to when there was no on demand. They get in a pattern of things that they watch on a certain night at a certain time, a certain lead in, a certain show that's after it. They get very used to that stuff. So while we have a little downtime, I am again going to give the point to some very deserving people here. Oh, by the way, I hope you appreciate the special background for tonight's show. The point, I gotta give a special another point to John Naylor. Thank you so much for the $4.99. He loves Bob Uecker. That, by the way, is Johnny Seattle. My good old friend Johnny Seattle, which is just a great name. It's like a guy that's really good at pool. Hey, you guys, table number 3 over there, it's Johnny Seattle. He's playing Minnesota Fats for big money. The Doc Torn, thank you so much. Always appreciated. Jared from over at the Pod Awful Cult. Oh, my God. Those people have been so good to me. They tolerate me. I appreciate them tolerating an old man. Thank you for tolerating an old man. And Dill Dog, wow. That is the largest, obviously, donation that we've ever received here on the show, and I appreciate it. By the way, that's the second largest right there. So what a night. What a night, as we used to say. And therefore, you guys all deserve the point without banner. Without banner. Yes, I said it. Without banner. But now I'm putting the banner back up, and you're all still getting the point. Another person who gets the point is Rumpled Trenchcoat, gifting out 5 Tom Gully Show memberships. Oh, my God. Rumpled, please stop. You're going to be a guest on the show tomorrow. It's going to look like the fix is in. It's going to look like there's collusion, malfeasance, something. But Rumpled Trenchcoat has also been super generous to us. But I got to tell you, even if he'd never donated anything, we'd have him on the show because his comments are always on point. They're always funny. And he knows so much about Colombo. It's ridiculous. I think Rumpled Trenchcoat and I share the same sickness, really. The chef, he says that he's got to go. Say goodnight, Gracie, to everyone. Good night, Gracie. Doc Torn's saying night. A lot of people saying goodnight. They're saying goodnight. Rumpled Trenchcoat is laughing at something. I don't know what. Doc Torn says, Tom, you're too kind. I'm really not. I just took the Wolf, by the way, will be interested in knowing that just yesterday or in the last few days, I took the Wonderlick test, Wolf. I don't know how I did on it. I don't think they tell you. I'm going to ask them to tell me, but I don't think that nobody in any sort of business aptitude testing that I've ever done has ever told me how I did on it, which I think is a little These people might, though. I haven't asked them. So we'll see. But I did very much take the Wonderlic test, Wolf. I have to think I did really well on it. I hope I did. I hope I didn't fail it. I won't be able to play varsity this year. Rumpled 12. Oh, sorry. Thanks, StreamYard. Coach Pegleg says, thank you to whomever gifted me a membership. Well, that would have been the one, the only, often imitated, never duplicated, Rumpled Trench Coat, a Columbo podcast. Says, you're welcome, Pegleg. Enjoy. Enjoy. Hopefully that makes the leg feel just a little better. Just a little better tonight as we celebrate the life and the laughter of Bob Uecker. The Wolf says Fitz as a scout knew the test scores. Oh, I'm sure he got to see him. He got to see him. Coach says will do. Yeah, I think it said that it was specially designed for the thing that I do. And I don't know if it was or not. I don't know because I've never seen a regular one. I don't know what a regular one is. I don't know if there is a regular one. But I did take it. I did take it. And it was, as tests go, I take a lot of tests that are like, what's this for? Why are you asking me this? I don't know. This one, I can kind of see, hey, this is some, yeah, this is legit. This is stuff I care about, you know? So anyway, I pointed out that Bob Uecker actually did hit one of his 14 home runs was off of maybe the best pitcher in Major League Baseball history. It's arguable. Sandy Koufax. And he hit a homer off him and commented, I don't think he should be in the Hall. I hit a homer off him. You know, if I can, you know, is he really that good? And I think he went 3 for 4 the last time he faced Don Drysdale, and who also I think is in the Hall. I'm not sure. Let's see. Doctorn says, did you out it back after you took it? I don't know what that, I'm not sure. I'm tracking on that, but no, I took it and that's it. It's, you know, that's it. It's over. It's done. I don't know how I did. I mean, that process is going well. So it's part of the reason I might not be back in time on Wednesday. I don't know. I'll go all the way over here to Fort Worth. Fort Worth is west of Dallas. I live on the far east side of Dallas. There's going to be a little bit of a haul. So Reno Hightower, also an old-time TV freak. Don Drysdale of Brady Bunch fame, that very same Don Drysdale. I don't know if Don Drysdale's in the Hall or not. I think he probably is. If he's not, I would be surprised. Let's see here. Don Drysdale. You know, if he's not, it's because of reasons I don't know why. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Baseball Hall of Fame, 1984. So 9-time All-Star, 3 times World Series champion, Cy Young Award winner, Major League Baseball wins leader, 3 times strikeout leader. So, yeah, I figured he would be. And, of course, as usual, well, you know, I'm just as usual. I'm right. So, yeah, that's just how I roll. Correct about that as usual. You know, I know things. I'm old. I know things. You know, look into it. Oh, wow. Skype wants me to help improve them. Why would I do that? Why would I do that, Skype? Why would I do that? There's no reason for me to. There's no reason for me to help you, Skype, really. Let's see. The Wolf says that he started to take a genius IQ test. Since I'm not a genius, it made no sense to me. Yeah, well, Wolf, you may be a genius, and your blind spot is that you're a genius. I would have taken the test. Maybe they can say you're almost a genius, or quasi-genius, or kind of a genius. I don't know. This hair, something's got to be done. So please, I'm just begging you all to take an hour, just an hour, and go to YouTube and type in Bob Uecker, Uecker. You can refer to this show and, get the spelling, and Johnny Carson or Tonight Show, and you are going to be so happy you did. So very happy you did. I like how they facetiously call him Mr. Baseball because his career was not staggering in terms of accomplishment necessarily. He did catch Bob Gibson, who's another arguably the best. I would say Bob Gibson is arguably the most dominant pitcher in Major League Baseball history. I mean, he's scary, and caught him and won a world championship. He's got a World Series ring. People can say, oh, you weren't that good. Well, I was on a World Series championship team, so there you go, which is nice. It's really nice for Bob Uecker to have had that in his career because he's beloved by all of his teammates and broadcast partners. And we got a call from one of my favorite people. One of my very favorite people, Johnny Seattle, with us. Johnny, how you doing?
Hey, my friend. I actually have a Bob Uecker story.
Oh, let's hear it.
I did not meet him in person, but it meant a lot to an Army buddy of mine. This is early 70s. Bob had just started to do the play-by-play stuff for the Brewers, right?
Yeah.
And my buddy, he was about maybe 10 years old, and his mom, he married a baseball player, a guy who played second base, a guy named Ron Theobald. Didn't play too long. He only played a few years up in the majors and then went back down to the minors. But he was a guy who made the major leagues for 2 years, right? Which is a hell of an accomplishment. So anyways, here he is. That's his stepdad, right? And because his stepdad is a baseball player for the Brewers, he got a chance to go down to the dugout, play on the field, and he would always talk about how cool Bob Uecker was with the kids. Always grabbing a mitt, grabbing a ball, grabbing a bat, playing and stuff like that. It was just the dream of any 11-year-old boy, right?
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Oh, it's very cool. Very cool. He has some, and I won't ruin them here, but he has some hilarious advice for younger players that I can't. I'd love to do them, but I'd ruin them for anybody else. Yeah. And I think even on Letterman, maybe he did that as well, because he appeared on all the talk shows. You can go to Letterman's page too. There's a clip there. Yeah. Oh God, this is funny. Doc Torn says, I took an IQ test. It came back negative. So anyway, how are you doing? How's everything else going?
Doing good. Trying to avoid any COVID or Corona or whatever the bird flu thing is. I'm, trying to avoid any of that stuff. But doing good. Did you in your research on the Bob Uecker, I'm sure you ran across the Artie Lang stuff?
Yes, I had just mentioned a little earlier that both Norm Macdonald and Artie Lang have told stories, and you can look these up on YouTube as well, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
Told stories about, and by the way, I think it was Artie that was on either The Tonight Show or Letterman also told some Bob Uecker stories that Bob Uecker was not crazy about. And I won't ruin that for you either, because Norm Macdonald makes a big deal out of it on Howard Stern right there with Artie Lang. But yes, I did cover a little of that. Rumpled Trenchcoat says, I love it when celebrities I like turn out to be good people as well. And that was really sort of the case with Bob Uecker. So
he tells it, I guess Uecker told Artie Lang a great story about Don Drysdale and Ken Boyer, the third baseman for the Cardinals, that happened back in the 60s. I won't ruin that, but that's also in there.
Yeah.
And it is hilarious. But a little off color, and
Oh.
I know you, for purposes of your, really want to go there, so we won't do that.
Well, I have no problem saying that Bob Uecker could also be very off color in appropriate settings to be off
Thank
color.
you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
and hilariously off color, by the way, in those
Oh.
particular settings. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's really
What a
great
talent.
stuff. Yeah, just
What a talent.
super amazing, super smooth, never a word out of place. Just
Yeah.
a great person. So
Just
anyway,
beautiful.
well, hey man, thanks for calling in. I appreciate it, and
All
I
right, buddy.
appreciate your kind donation as well.
Oh, boy, you're just rolling them in. You should do more Euchre shows if you're going to get those big. you really rolled them in, man.
I probably should. It's Al Uecker. It's Bob. Why do I keep calling him Al? It's Bob Uecker week here on the Tom Gully Show.
Yes, the donation lines are open.
Yes. Anyway.
The operator is standing by.
Yes. Dial by midnight tonight. Anyway, thank you
All
so
right,
much
buddy.
for watching
Our
and
Tom.
for giving us a call. Appreciate it.
Oh, love you. I love your stuff, Tom.
All right.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye. I'm not good at taking compliments. Let's see. Oh, well, the Wolf had something here. He says the first two questions had to do with patterns. There were no questions being asked, just shapes and numbers. It was very perfect. Yeah, mine had patterns and some math things too. Doc Torn says, I got a case of Corona the other day. I think I'll stick with rum. Oh boy, Corona, Rosa Corona. Let's see. The Wolf says, I saw the Stern interview with Norm. Yeah, both Norm and Artie Lang do great. Well, Norm especially does a great Bob Uecker impression. So that was especially nice to see. So at any rate, well, we're toward the end of the show here already. And man, oh man, have people been kind to us today. Wow, I really, really appreciate it. I can't tell you how much. It's shocking. Frankly, it's shocking to me that things went this well. Tomorrow night is Wake the Kids, Phone the Neighbors, Tell Your Friends. Everybody that Rumpled Trenchcoat interacts with has to be on hand tomorrow, because not only is he and his wit going to be here, his extremely good on the air sister will be with them. Also, they do the podcast together, Rumpled Trenchcoat, a Columbo podcast. I just keep saying it. It takes a little explanation. You need to watch an episode of Columbo. Start at the beginning, just like they have, and then listen to their podcast about that episode. It's fabulous. It is amazing. And tell everybody you know, tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell your frenemies, long-lost relatives, everybody. Get them in here so you can see Rumpled Trenchcoat and his sister and hear what they have to say about Columbo. And the Rumpled Trenchcoat himself says, that really flew by, I have to say. Much like a knuckleball flying by our good friend. Even though we've never met him and don't know him, Bob Uecker. I think he was a friend to everybody, really. So with all that being said, boy, that old clock on the wall says, like the Reverend Al Green, it's time for me to get up on out of here. Get up, get out of here. Home run. It's gone. You don't have to stay here, but you can't go home. Strike that, reverse it. And with all that being said, I think the only thing left to say is, looks like I'm in the front row, just a bit outside, is my catchphrase. Oh, by the way, Cobra Kai. My catchphrase, till next time, we'll see you next time.